Okay, Dad.
I had to write this out so I could remember it all. This is to my dear bubblegummer. Back in the day, if you were a college kid and you were seeking a high school age person, we called them bubblegummers, and they called us college boys. Says to my dear bubblegummer, happy 50th anniversary, my love. Can you believe it? 50 years. So much is going through my mind right now, so I decided to write it down, and I know I will not get everything I want to say, but I will do my best. I will never forget the night we first met. I'm not sure what led me to the Rathskeller Tavern that night, but I do know it was life-changing. There on the dance floor was the most gorgeous redhead I had ever seen in my life. My heart did flip-flops like I never had experienced before. We didn't get to spend much time together, but I took your friend's word for it that you will be back the next night. I didn't sleep that much that night because I could not get your picture out of my mind. The next day I was a nervous wreck. What if you didn't show? What if you did and I became a blithering idiot and said all the wrong things? I was never so glad when you came back, and you were more beautiful than I remembered the previous night. To go with that was the most adoring and bubbly personality I could ever imagined. It became the greatest night of my life. Much of how our love developed is kind of a blur. I just know that every day after that you endeared yourself to me more and more. Living out at Cheney was hard because I wanted to be with you every day. Thankfully, there was a little phone booth at Four Lakes that we could drive to every Wednesday night and save a quarter. And the multitude of cards in the drugstore that I could buy and send to you. I couldn't wait until I got a card from you. In the summer, we'd go to the lake, both Coeur d'Alene and Priest. You would hide under beach towels and cover-ups to protect your skin. I would be out there baking myself. You always said I kept you around to make my tan look great. The fact is, I kept you around because my tan made your creamy ivory skin look more beautiful. You would also say that your parents late sealed a relationship, but it was sealed a long time before that, and it would never have made a difference in how I felt about you. I knew early in the relationship that you would be the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Giving you a diamond engagement ring was so right, as was sitting on that bench with your dad asking permission to marry his daughter. That was scary. We didn't have a lot when we were married, but we enjoyed our tiny life our life in the tiny apartment on Houck Road, and we're willing to share that life with a crazy stray cat we called dumb shit. All along we knew that life would be temporary as the stint in the Army loomed ahead. We were thinking we were so grown up when we headed across country in our loaded down blue Maverick, driving in a whiteout in the Rockies, listening to a bridge over troubled water 100 times, St. Louis, not sleeping all night because I was worried the car would be stolen. Indianapolis, guy selling stolen jewelry out of the trunk of his car. Washington, D.C., keeping Tom at the motel window. Considering it all an adventure. I'll never forget the look on your face when we drove up to the gates of Fort Eustis and I got a panic attack and turned the car around. You offered encouragement and I knew I could not let you down. That turned out to be a great experience. We met wonderful people. We had a great time visiting historical sites, eating the best club sandwiches and beef burgundy at the Officers Club. We did well because everyone loved you, your funny personality, and your kindness. Again, you were the best half of our relationship. We led a charmed military life, and I will always believe it was your luck of the Irish that was responsible. Fort Lawton, for crying out loud. Downtown Seattle, what a beautiful experience. Again, new and great friends, living close to downtown Seattle, Pike Street Market, Ivers, walks on the waterfront, trip to San Francisco. Vietnam was always in the back of our minds, but then came word that I would be going to Korea. A major burden was lifted off of our shoulders. I knew that there was going to be a separation, but considering what was going on, I knew there was going to be a separation, but considering what was going on, to be the alternative, that was acceptable. When I found out other military personnel were bringing their wives over, I began to think that was a real possibility. Obviously, I was miserable without you, and you were courageous enough to take a huge risk. To be that girl from Little Post Falls, to travel a place that would be way out of your comfort zone. You also had to stand up to your father to make this trip. What you didn't know was that our time in Korea was one of the things that totally cemented our marriage. We were on our own without anybody else to depend on, and love and trust grew so much during that time. Again, it was your personality that made the difference with the others, officers and their wives. Everybody loved you, and I watched in amazement how you won people over. Life after the Army was a little scary too. Would I get a job? Where would we live? What would we have in store for us in the future? Although we're all through this, you never lost faith in me, and wherever we would go, I knew you would make the best of our circumstances. A job in the CV district, several homes, and 2 beautiful children. You were an amazing mother. Life was perfect, but then I screwed it all up. The decision to go to Alaska was a disaster, but you held me together. In all my darkest hours, you were the one who kept me moving forward. You kept telling me that it would all work itself out, and it did. I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for you. I have these unexplained periods of darkness, and I don't know why you stood by me, but I'm sure glad you did. You always knew how much I loved teaching and coaching. You thought you were just second place to the thing I loved. That couldn't be further from the truth. You had to take some really crappy jobs to be able to supplement a teacher's income, and I appreciated it so much. You had to spend lots of money, lots of lonely evenings as I worked to be the best teacher and coach I could be. You were not second place. You were the wind that kept me aloft. You were the best example of what a teacher's supporting wife should be. I thank you for that. The question now is, what is next for us? Who knows that I'm not very good at dealing with these kinds of changes. I'm sorry that you will have to take on the brunt of working this out. All I know is that I will continue to love you more each day, and I will try to be a decent partner. You have made my life better in too many ways to name. Your college.